Hey, shalom, 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 shalom. All right, let me get this thing here going. All right, there we go. Oh, this is Nama of the DC Camp, Branch Great Millstone, back with another video. Call all Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Kahakwadash. Double honors once again go out to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone. All right, who rule well. Salutations also go out to the fellow octane that are out there on the highways and byways. All right, pushing the truth across the four corners of the earth, along with the numerous amount of videos they post. All right, further push the truth out. All right, so what we have here, something else Great Millstone has always tried to tell you: be careful. All right, when you hear these numbers that are rolled out in the, playing the propaganda game. The news media is a very powerful tool in the hands of our enemy. All right, and they like to push shit that's very deceptive. You have to dig deeper. All right, so here we go.
My brothers and sisters, I'm gonna play a video and I'll be back.
Every time I do a video on assistance, I get this. So I'm going to break it down for you because the percentages are very deceiving. I rounded up. 40% of African Americans get assistance. There's approximately 40 million plus African Americans in this country. That adds up to 16 million African Americans get assistance. And I rounded up to 39% of whites that get assistance. There's 196,800,000 whites that get assistance. That adds up to 76,752,000 white people that get some kind of federal assistance. When you do percentages, it's very deceiving. When you do actual numbers, you actually tell exactly who's getting the assistance. Thank you.
Now,
because just looking at the percentage, it says 38.8% white and 39. You would think, well, dang, we just edged them out. So no, you gotta understand what he's saying. 38.8% of their population versus 39 point whatever percent of ours, and then you'll get to see. But they push that on purpose because, Jake, they just. Here we go.
Just to notice something. You see that date, 7/23/21, right? Someone replied to this because
4 years ago. I'm sorry.
Those are the stats in 2021. Someone responded to that. I showed the new data, the new numbers. The sister by the name Phenomenal Spirit wrote this. This information is false. As of last quarter of 2024, 44.6% of the Caucasian population receive government assistance, and 26.3% of the black population receive government assistance. Now, why am I doing all this? I'm doing all this to show you how powerful propaganda is, how powerful an agenda is, how powerful controlling the narrative is, okay? Because for over 80 years, America has used their movies, Hollywood. They've used Hollywood to paint the picture of a black man as evil, as violent, as deadbeat, as absentee father, gang members, every negative thing you can think of. They have used Hollywood to paint a picture of this is what a black man is. Now here's the kicker. Upon everything they threw at the black man still survived. Black man was still creating more families in America than any other group. You see, they didn't like that. And since they tried everything and nothing seems to work, what was their last result? They came up with the Trojan horse, the black woman, and they weaponized the black woman against the black man. Nothing has worked. For over 400 years, nothing has worked. But in the 60s, they used black women to penetrate the black nuclear family. So, what they couldn't do in over 400 years, they used our own women to do it in 50, 60 years. Let that sink in. Hello, welcome to Reactions and Reviews. I'm your humble host, Eze. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy the show.
How to check if someone's spying on you. Actually, it's pretty simple. If you notice any of these signs, it's time to check your phone. Here's what to look.
Hey Zay, thank you, and I hope you enjoy the show. My sisters, everything you did is finna come back on you because they have people in place, government-wise, to show you we used you to destroy the village. Now, we really have no use for you no more. Your daddy ain't there. Your husband ain't there. Your son is raised wrong. Your daughter is watching you twerk. You have done what we wanted you to do well in destroying the village. The father of your child is probably in court with you over nothing. We have used you to the same way, like back in the day, Eve ate from the forbidden tree. Right. This is the same thing. You ate from the forbidden tree. You went and used a system that destroys you to destroy your family. And now, with this administration in, they have no use for you. Remember all the female black mayors and everything that was happening and all like that? Yeah. They ain't got no use for that shit no more. I did a video about this before. In any country, I don't care what country you go to, if you want to take over that country, what do? You get rid of the men. You get rid of the men.
Let's get it real quick. Mark 3rd chapter. All right. All right. You got to bind that fellow, right? Mark 3:27. Well, let's start up around 24. It says, and if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand, but hath an end. Here's the point. No man can enter in what he was just trying to make the end. No man can enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods, except he will first bind the strong man, and then he will spoil his house. All right. And what was the weapon? Well, let's get that. Let's go to, let's see, where is it? Is it 2 Timothy? Let's see. Let's see. No, it was first. I'm sorry. Let's see. Let's go to 2. All right. Well, I say about feminism. Here's what you're not supposed to do, and here's what this asshole did. I guess I should have went to Psalms 50 first. All right, I'll do it second then. It says, I will, in like manner also that women adorn themselves in modest apparel with shamefacedness and sobriety, which feminism taught you to do just the opposite, not with broidered hair or gold or pearls or costly array, but which becometh women professing godliness with good works. Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection, but I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. And here it is. For Adam was first formed, then Eve, and Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in the transgression. And the reason I said Psalms is because he used our book, all right, as a weapon against us also. So let's go to Psalms 50. All right, let's go down to 16. It says, but unto the wicked the Most High saith, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes? Remember, Revelation 20th chapter, what did it do? It tells you that these devils will be set loose. All right, they are the wicked. All right, in that context, it's talking about a people. All right, it said they will be loosed that little season. What will they do? To deceive the world, to deceive the nations, rather. All right, so that's what he's done ever since the Renaissance era. when they came back into power. All right. Again, but unto the wicked the Most High said, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes? What's one of the first things they did? Job 9:24, right? All right. The faces of the true judges, they hid. All right. And they put themselves saying that they look like the Heavenly Father and His Son and the heavenly host. And it was about them. That's how they deceived. And they went forth, what? To deceive the nations, primarily the Israelites, because they came over here. All right. And with the Northern Kingdom, with that BS, even before Columbus, and then with Ferdinand and Isabella, you had Nicholas V. All right. He was the one right before then. That's credited with starting what will become known as the transatlantic slave trade, as far as the Catholic Church is concerned. All right. So let's see, 17. Seeing thou hatest instruction, and they do. Everything they do is opposite. All right, is contradictory to what the actual scriptures say to do. Seeing thou hatest instruction and castest my words behind thee, when thou sawest a thief, and thou consentest with him, and hast been partaker with adulterers, thou givest thy mouth to evil, and thy tongue frameth deceit. Propaganda. A big, another example of that is this thing in Cincinnati that's been going on for a little over a week now. Straight up propaganda. They never showed you the beginnings of it. All right, here it is. You got a Russian immigrant, no less, who you're supposed to be opposed to. Where's all that money going to Ukraine against them? But no, you take the side of this asshole who starts the shit. All right, letting you know you Jakes are the real enemy. All right, let's see. Thou givest thy mouth to evil, and thy tongue frameth deceit. Thou sittest and speakest against thy brother, which is us. Go read Obadiah. Thou slanderest thine own mother's son, and you can't stop. This is Revelation 12:10. All right, let's go there real quick. You just can't stop. All right, 12:10. It says, and I heard a voice. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength in the kingdom of our God and the power of his Son, Hamashiach Yahushua, for the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our God day and night. This is what he does. This is what he does. And yet in Isaiah 14 it tells you the Most High will yet choose Israel. You don't think he knows what's going on?
You get rid of the men. Because once you get rid of the men, who are the remainders? Women and children. Old people, women and children. Those are the remainders. They can be conquered. That's what they did to the black family. That is exactly what they did to the black family.
And that's part of the
and what did that
curses,
do?
too.
That left.
Can't leave them out because we're still under that. And that falls right into Deuteronomy 28 and 54. Let's start at 54. And it says, so that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil toward his brother, and toward black on black, so-called violence, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. 56, I go straight to it. The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eyes shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughter. All right, and toward, verse 57, and toward her young one that cometh out from between her feet. That's no better example can be found than the so-called black woman, especially if she got a little, the son, and how she talks to him. And you remind me of your daddy, no good, all that shit. And toward her young one that cometh out from between her feet, and toward her children which she shall bear, for she shall eat them for one of all things. That's coming secretly in the siege and straitness, talking about Masada. And then what's coming up, it's going to be worse. Remember Daniel 12:1, wherewith thine enemy shall distress thee in thy gates. All right, so let's go back to the video.
did that do? That left the black women vulnerable, with nobody to protect them, with nobody to fight for them. That left the black woman vulnerable. And like Corey said, what happens when they don't need you anymore? They get rid of you. And that is what they're doing right now to black women. They are getting rid of you because they don't need you anymore. You've done your job, and now, bye-bye.
To the economy now, where staggering numbers have been released surrounding black women in the labor force. A new report shows more than 300,000 black women have left the workforce in just the last several months. That's according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. Joining me now is gender economist Katika Roy to break this all down and why they're leaving. Katika, thank you so much for being with us. You recently wrote an article where you say that this isn't happening by accident. Why do you think it is happening?
This is happening because of cuts to public sector positions. So if you look at the federal labor force, black women make up just over 12% of the federal labor force. It's about double their representation in the labor force overall. And when you have targeted cuts up to 50% in organizations such as the Department of Education and HHS, you're not just trimming the fat, you're actually cutting the economic backbone for black women.
Wow.
If you made it this far, hit that like button and leave a comment to trigger YouTube's algorithm. So hit that subscribe button and hit that bell to let you know every time I upload a new video.
Teenagers are building businesses with AI, while the only AI you know is ChatGPT. Let's be real.
Let you know every time I upload a new video. Now, my brothers and sisters, did y'all pick up on that? Did y'all pick up on that? The black news lady is talking about black women are walking away, black women are leaving. Nah. Let's don't get it twisted. They are getting let go. They are getting fired. That's a difference. Leaving is quitting. Firing is get out of here. You understand what I'm saying? I just want to make sure I clear it up because she's talking about they're leaving. No. They're not leaving. They're getting fired. Okay, let's continue.
And so what are some of the spillover effects from all of this?
Well, one of the things that we know is that there is a connection between women's labor force participation and GDP. So just black women's labor force participation has dropped by just over 2% in the last 3 months. And that has sucked over $37 billion out of US GDP. So this is the economic cost of gender policy ignorance.
This is really fascinating because do you think that most people are unaware of the actual impacts of things like this?
Absolutely. So when we often think about women's issues or black women's issues, we think of it as an over there problem. It's not. It's an everybody problem. When our economy grows, that has more jobs and more income for everyone. So we know, for instance, overall, that for every 1 percentage point that women leave the labor force, there's a $146 billion hit to GDP.
Oh my gosh. And so we've talked about the consequences, but is there an upside to all of this? Are we seeing women pivoting to entrepreneurship as they're leaving the workforce? What then are they doing?
You know, that's a great question. And the truth is, we don't know where all of the 300,000 black women that have actually been pushed out of the labor force have gone. We know that some of them have gone into entrepreneurship, which is not only because of luxury, but it's actually because of survival. And this is really a testament to their resilience, but it also shows the rigidity in our traditional employment systems.
Okay.
My brothers and sisters, y'all just saw that, right? Y'all just saw that. And you know what I got from that? Just to let you know how we as a race, how we are being played, how these people are playing us like a puppet. They destroyed our family using the black women. And in the process of destroying our family, they use black women to enrich their economy. Notice what she said. The kind of money black women was bringing to the workforce, to their workforce, not ours, theirs. So not only did they destroy our family, they turned our women against us. Not only did they turn
Made
our women
money
against us, they use our women to make billions for their companies. Let that sink in, my brothers and sisters. Now, what do you guys think? Do you agree or do you disagree? Either way, leave your comments below so we can start this conversation. Until the next video, stay safe in the streets.
There you go. So let's get this real quick because I failed to do it from the onset. This is the Copyright Act of 1976. Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research, which of course is what I'm doing. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. So there you go. So that's going to be it. Like I always say, all right, continue to be circumspect out here, especially now. As a result of what happened in Cincinnati over a week ago, you had this asshole that said he was going to go out and kill 30 Jakes. Luckily for his dumb ass, the FBI was actually paying attention. And they went and scooped his ass up. Apparently he's a part of a group, so this is not the end of that. Yeah, so they got their asses those Russians got their asses handed to them and made them look bad. So they had to come out with that little propaganda video that they showed everybody, which wasn't the whole story. Again, to serve what purpose? To make us look, in a bad light. But in any case, I hope whoever views this video has been edified. Indeed, propaganda, I keep stressing, or try to. And if you don't know by now, that the media is one hell of a weapon in our enemy's arsenal. All right. So with the but it's all coming to an end. That's the good thing. But until the next video, Shalom.